everyone, it is Misty and Natalie.
Yes, and we are back for month 3 of our Spring Dreams block of the month, and this is going to be a good one.
It is. I think it's going to be a super fun and easy one.
With some good hacks for getting things done along the way. I like where this is going to go.
Exactly, I do too. So let's go ahead and dive in. Again, it comes in our cute little zipper pouch that coordinates with our beautiful quilt behind us, so that's super fun.
It's great for storing your blocks while you're waiting for month 9.
Exactly.
Also, in the future, you can use them for all kinds of fun things.
Yeah, project bags, just keeping all of your stuff organized.
Yes,
so
very convenient.
For month 3, we have, of course, our pattern, and so we can dive into that if you want.
All right, are you going to cut our yardage today?
I think so. So we just have 3 yardage cuts for this month, and so it is our background and these 2 beautiful purples.
Excellent.
And so what do we
we're
want
going
to
to start by cutting our darkest fabric,
Okay.
fabric A.
Beautiful.
And we're cutting 3
this.
2.5-inch strips. So actually, we're cutting A and E the same.
Oh,
so if you wanted to layer them, I think we could
Okay.
get our cuts done even quicker.
I love that idea. So I will just give this a press so I don't have any big rumples.
Yep,
And then I'll do the same with this one.
perfect. And I'm going to get you the long ruler. We've got one that is 24 inches long. That way you don't even have to fold them.
I love that.
You cut through all of it. Just make sure you line up your folds.
Yep. Okay.
And I'd probably flip them so that the fold is at the bottom, so you can then line that up with your ruler.
Bottom edge.
Just to make sure we don't get any elbows, because these are going to be kept as full strips.
Okay.
And then stitched to our other strips in the next step.
Alrighty. That looks pretty good on this side.
Yeah, just make sure it's all...
Okay. My edge looks pretty straight on this side.
All right,
I think
stick
I'm
that
gonna-
ruler on there and see if it's good.
I feel like it is pretty great.
Perfect.
So I'm going to stick with that. Okay.
Go for it.
So
Okay, so
what
we
size?
need 3 2.5-inch strips of
Okay.
each color.
Of each color. Alrighty. Nope. No, that was right. 2.5. My-
You're good.
My brain was not
Yeah,
seeing
I'm gonna
that.
slide this forward.
Okay, there is
Got our
cut number
little
1.
pattern keeper. Perfect.
And you said 3 of
Yep.
these. Okay.
3 of each, and then we'll go into our background. And I think I will just open this up
And
and
get
do
that
a
ready.
little bit of pressing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There is number 2. Again, make sure we keep this straight. And cutting our last 2.5-inch strip here. Oop. There we go.
I do love this background fabric. It's just so pretty.
It is pretty. So we'll set this
I
aside.
mean, all of the fabrics are from the same line, so they're all equally pretty, but I love a background that has just a subtle
Just
texture,
a little bit of
or
texture.
a print. It's just so interesting, you know?
I agree. It's really beautiful. All right.
Okay, so I think next we've got some more strips to cut.
Yes, we do. So should we lay this out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You're gonna cut them full length or
It's up to
can
you.
we fold?
Fold is fine.
Okay,
So we need
however you want to do it.
2 8.5-inch strips.
Perfect.
And then I'll let you.
Oh, you want me to slide this down a
A
bit
little
so you
bit.
have a
That
little
would
more
be
room?
great.
There you go.
Perfect. Just straighten up that edge there. And so 8.5 is what I said.
Yep.
So there's 8.5.
So one of these gets set aside.
Okay. And this one, straighten it up again.
Do my little check marks here.
There's 5, 6, 7, 8.5.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just
No, you're good.
give you a little space. All right,
Okay.
so then that one we're going to turn and subcut, but let's go ahead and cut the rest of these first.
You got it.
Yep, so 2 more 4.5-inch strips.
Okay. There's one. And 2.
Okay, so one of these also gets set aside over here. This
Okay.
is extra.
Beautiful.
And then what we're gonna do, we are going to cut 8.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. So we'll need
Okay.
16 of those. We'll turn that. I think you can keep it folded.
I definitely
and just
can.
cut that little fold. I'd slide so my little trick is to slide the edge of
Your selvage
my
past
selvage
the fold.
just right over it. So you're kind of just cutting like
Yeah.
the fold itself.
Yes.
That gives you the most amount of fabric to work with.
Beautiful.
So I mean, it's not super strict, but that's just how I like to line
Just
it up.
a great little tip.
Yeah, because you want to make sure, and you also check to make sure that see, this one goes back a little farther.
yeah.
So you'll want to cut the selvage all the way off. As long as it's under 1/4 inch, I don't care if I get a little bit stuck in there. And especially on a fabric that is backgroundy, you can't really
Right.
see it.
It's pretty forgiving.
Yeah, but you just have to look at that before you get all the way into it, you know? Otherwise, you can always just trim up that one
Yeah.
piece.
All right, and so it's 8.5 by how many?
2.5, and you are going to need 16.
Okay, and I've got
So
4
because
in a
it's
row.
folded, yep.
So there's 1,
So that's 4.
and
8.
8, and 12,
Perfect, and 16.
and 16.
With just a little bit left over.
All right, there's those.
Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing with our other 4.5 inch strip. Those are gonna turn into 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles.
Okay.
And we need 16 of those as well.
Beautiful.
Then we're ready to sew.
All right. And so like we've done in months past, we're cutting enough to make all of our blocks.
Yes, and for this block, we're gonna make 8. And I wanted to show you guys this. I think this is so cool. In these patterns, we have this area in the back where it shows the whole flat shot of the quilt, but you just get the highlight of where the block that you're making goes, so you can see how they fit into the quilt really easily.
It's nice to
very,
have that visual, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's very visually satisfying because I quilt by picture.
Right.
So very fun.
All
All right,
right.
so the first thing we're gonna do is grab one of these dark ones and one light one, and we're gonna stitch them together.
In a strip set.
Let's see, we can just take turns if you want.
Sure.
As far as
That
stitching goes.
totally works.
Okay. Because I'm fine either way. So this is gonna make the 4 patch that goes right in the middle of all 8 blocks.
And then while she's stitching that one, I'll give you guys a little bit of a jump start to the next one. And so with our other strips, we are going to use our background that we cut in the middle, and then a light purple on one side and a dark purple on the other. And we're gonna do that with both our 4.5 and our 8.5 inch background in the middle in the exact same way.
Okay. So this is ready.
Okay,
Do you want me to
perfect.
go ahead and start stitching
Yeah, why
these?
don't you stitch
Okay.
that? And I mean, you
Does
could
it
even.
matter which side the light
It
and
shouldn't,
the medium
because
goes on?
you can flip them. So
Okay.
yeah, it should not matter.
Perfect. Then I'm going to put the light one here on the right.
Perfect. And I will press
And-
this. Well, actually, I can just cut our segments and then I will press these.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet. And so now that we've sewn these together, we will cut this whole strip into 16 2.5 inch segments to have enough for all of our blocks. I'm just going to cut a couple since we only need 2 for the very middle. There we go. I'm just pressing these back to the dark side. Whoops! I caught a little piece of my selvage.
Uh-oh.
Darn it. I should have looked at both sides.
Is it within the 1/4 inch though?
No, I don't think, well, it's close.
Oh, yeah.
We're just gonna cut another one.
I think we've got plenty of room where that won't matter.
There we go.
All right.
Let these things happen.
I'm gonna go ahead and add the dark one to this other side.
Yep. Beautiful.
Okay.
So we're just going to take a minute here really quick. We'll finish sewing these strips together and we'll add one of these to each of these as well, and we'll meet you back here when those are ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, all right. We have our 2 strip sets sewn. I went ahead and pressed this one.
All right. I will go ahead and press this one if you want.
Well, I thought if you wanted to take over cutting, I'll press it.
Sure.
And then you can keep
Absolutely.
going there.
Yeah.
That works.
All right, so we are going to, you've got these folded so nice and all of the seams match up. So these get cut. I just want to double check. We have our segments, we've sewn, we're cross cutting into 16 2.5 inch long segments. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I'm within all of my selvages and make this first cut. So I'm looking at a bunch of different things on my ruler and on the mat. I'm lining up my seam lines, but I'm also checking to make sure that my cut lines of my fabric and my strip sets also line up, just to try and keep everything really straight so that it all matches up nicely when we get to our block assembly. All right, then I'm gonna flip it because I am not left-handed. And again, we're doing 2.5 inch segments. Alrighty.
There we go.
And we only need 2 of these for our 1 block that we're going to make on camera.
Okay.
But you're going to need a bunch for the 8 blocks.
Yeah. So I think
Let's see.
16
Yep,
total.
16. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Sorry, sometimes as I'm going along, you will hear me just counting out loud to try and keep it all
That's
straight.
what we have to do. So we're at 10.
12. 14 and 16.
Perfect.
There we go. And this is extra for another project or a scrap bin.
Beautiful. And then if you
Okay.
want to cut these as well, they get subcut in the same way.
Okay. Get them all lined up.
You might. Yeah.
Do you think I ought to just open it up and go from one end instead of
Maybe it's a little bit
trusting our
trickier with that
seams? Okay.
big piece. I mean, you can do whatever
We
you're comfortable
probably
with.
could, and I think, you know, everyone at home too, you can definitely do
This
whatever
one
you
still
feel.
reaches.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine either way, but
You're right. It's plenty long enough.
Yeah.
Here I am trying to, I'm like, let's get the big
sometimes
ruler out.
the big ruler is just a little unwieldy if you don't.
It can be for sure.
You don't need it.
Okay, I'm going to trim off my selvage. Oop. Try not to ruin my blade. They get nicked so easy sometimes. Alrighty. So we've got one of these. And again, you're going to need 16 to do all 8 blocks. But I think I'm just going to cut those 2.
Yeah, we'll just
that's
cut
what
enough
we
for
need.
one. That's right.
That'll help us get done because we've got everything that we need now to go ahead and sew the block together.
That's right. Exactly.
So we'll start by putting together this little 4 patch.
Awesome. Then I will get us organized
Good deal.
for the next step.
All right.
All right, so once she has that sewn together,
Go ahead.
I can go ahead and give that a press, and then we are going to add our 4.5 inch background strips, one to each side.
Perfect.
So I'll have you do that.
Okay.
This block is so fun with the strip sets. It comes together really fast.
It really is. I love that little hack. To me, that makes life just so easy.
It really does.
It's one of those ways where you create this one big long seam and then you get all of that work done.
Exactly. Anything that can save us a little bit of time, right?
That's right.
Okay, and I'll press this for you.
Perfect.
I actually think it would probably be easier if I press
Those in since
Yes.
the strips are pressed out.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that they'll nest a little bit better for you. So I'll make these go that way.
Perfect.
Okay. That's better.
So
All right.
now we're
adding these two, and the thing that we want to make sure of is that our light purple is going to chain through, and so these are actually going to be
and then
opposites.
The dark purple also chains.
Yes.
That's so great.
And
it
so-
makes a really beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful effect with color.
it really does. So now she'll add those, and then we'll basically repeat the exact same idea with our larger strips as well.
Yep. Continue that lovely chain. Alrighty, and then this one again, light, dark, and light, dark. Okay.
Yep.
And we're just matching, I'm watching the points and making sure that my seams nest where those lights and darks come together.
That's where pressing them in opposite directions makes it
It's very helpful.
super helpful for them to kind of lock in place.
Okay,
All right, press those for you now.
perfect.
And roll those back. And so then just like before, we'll add one of these to each side,
Okay.
and then we'll finish it up with our larger
Our
strips.
final strip sets.
Yep.
Perfect. And so far so good on our seam allowances
know.
because our cuts are
They're
matching.
matching. Our 1/4 inches are accurate.
Yay!
What we like to see.
Sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge, and if it's a challenge for you, it's okay. Just so long as your seams are all the same and consistent, you should be all right.
That's exactly right. All right. So same thing, I'm going to press these in
Excellent.
so that they will nest with our strip sets. Make sure everything's laying nice and flat and we don't have any tucks in there. And then same idea, we're going to make sure our lights and darks continue to line up all the way through the block.
Yep.
And so then we'll just fold those over
Perfect.
and you are all set.
My fabric flipped on me just a little bit now. There we go. Okay. go.
The final scene.
Almost, yep, almost done.
Right.
There we go.
Beautiful. Okay, so we will press this one. Oh, it's so cute.
It is cute.
Such a great little block. And there it is.
Yes, nice and easy.
So simple. So you're gonna make 8. We have the rest of ours all done here.
They should measure 12.5 inches unfinished.
That's right.
And you're just gonna set them aside with your months 1 and 2.
Yep, and you'll see here they are in the quilt,
Yep,
making their way all the way around.
excellent.
So we will just hold on to these and we will
Yes.
see you back here for month 4.
That's right. And don't forget, we have our Facebook page, our group, where we will be there to hang out, check pictures and comments and questions and encourage each other. It's going to be great.
Exactly. So be sure to follow along with the Spring Dreams group and we'll
That's
see
right.
you there.
See you next month.